Hi, I'm Marcus.
And I'm Nick.
And we are Working Class Nerds.
We're the podcast that gives you no information about your favorite information.
Today is Thursday, May 31st, 2018. You can find this terrible podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Buzzsprout, and Stitcher. What's the other site you want me to go on?
I have no idea.
Oh no, YouTube. You want me to post this to YouTube?
Yes, we should make a YouTube channel. Should be coming shortly.
Nick's on that.
Oh, great. This and the cruise.
What are we doing this week?
This week's episode, we're talking about board games with Albus. We're going to break down what we like about board games and talk about some of our favorites. But before we go ahead and dive into that, Albus, tell us a little bit about yourself and what you're into lately.
Hey guys, thanks for having me on the podcast.
Thanks for coming on.
Welcome.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Just a guy. I'm a husband. I got 5 kids.
5 kids?
Woo!
5 kids. That keeps me busy.
You're tax exempt.
Yeah. I got 2 of them playing baseball right now, so we're always.
Coach?
I actually do coach my girls' baseball team.
Wow,
I help,
very cool.
I'm an assistant coach. But yeah, so that keeps us busy. We got games pretty much every night that I'm not raiding. So, so as far as gaming, I play SOTOR and I play with Marcus. He's you're one of my guildies, and so I'm on your Sunday night raid team, and then I'm also on the same team Wednesday night with Arv's team.
Death Star Troopers is the Sunday night team. We have a lot of fun. You know, you've been a crucial part of the team for me on Sunday because you have so much experience. And, you know, whenever I had a problem in the beginning, I bounced a lot of ideas off you because it was really hard. So I appreciate it.
Hey, no problem.
And who else is on the team on Sunday? Drum roll, please. Balto. Who's Balto?
Waldo, he's our tank, our off tank.
But who is he?
Oh, he's my son.
Oh, how awesome is that, everybody in the world?
Father-son gaming duo.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like Batman and Robin on SOTOR.
Yeah.
It's the greatest thing ever.
Peanut butter and jelly.
It was like a long time goal, you know? I mean, when I started playing, I was playing Ops and stuff, and he was still too young, really. But, you know, it's kind of like, all right, I want to start working it up, and he wanted to play, get some tunes together, and I kept telling him, I was like, all right, you get somebody to 70 or whatever, and I'll take you. So he did it.
He's
put the time in, got it leveled up and everything, so it's fun.
That's awesome.
I do love having him on the team. It's nice to have a voice of reason because you know I find that kids, he's not really a kid. I mean, he's a teenager, so he's not like technically a kid. He's still a kid, but no filters, and that's what I love because they're not afraid to tell you how they feel. Because you say, hey, what do you think about this? And it immediately is like, I love it. And you know that's a passionate answer.
Yeah.
So that's what else do you do other than play SOTOR?
Also, probably my biggest hobby actually is board gaming. I just do SOTOR pretty much twice a week with the ops teams. Though board gaming has been kind of light lately with baseball season and all that, but so let's see, this past Friday I ran every month actually I run a monthly game night at our church, and so that's cool. So it was this past Friday, and I started something at the beginning of the year where I teach games. So like we have a lot of new players that aren't that into gaming. So I try to teach some of the easier games and stuff. So I taught Takanoko this past week. And also taught down for us actually. But
Wow, that's so basically you're an ops leader just with board games.
That's right, man.
Sounds awesome.
How many do you guys get a bunch of people to play on the once a month? Is it, kind of sporadic? Like one week you get 8, the next week you get 2, or do you get a big crowd?
There's quite a bit that show up, and it's all kinds of. I mean, there's probably 30 people that come.
Oh, wow, that's a lot of games.
Yeah,
man, that's a lot of cattle to herd.
Yeah,
it's all levels of experience and stuff, and some aren't that into gaming per se, but I'm glad to have everybody that's there. And
sure.
Yeah. So there's probably, as far as hardcore gamers or whatever, gamers like me, there's probably 8 or so, I'd say, that come, and it does fluctuate every month. But I started putting the word out on Board Game Geek, which is a big board game website, and got some people from that. And actually, the beginning of this year, I put a meetup group out there. So I've got some new people attending from that too.
And they all drive to your church?
Mm-hmm.
Wow,
Yep.
That's great. So not only are you getting I'm going to call it your local folk, who, your local church folk, you're also getting people from out of town, or maybe, a couple towns over that are coming because, there's not many places to play.
Exactly.
Wow, that's great. Now, does the church buy the games, or do you buy the games?
I buy them.
Wow.
Yeah. So I just bring some from my collection every month and stick them out on a table, and people can go grab whatever they want. And other people bring games too. It's kind of a community thing.
Right.
That's cool.
So.
Well, board games have been around my whole life, so I can go back to Connect 4, and all the way up to the Mice and Mystics game. That's great. Have you bought any new games lately?
Yep, I just recently bought a game called Lost Cities. It's one I'd heard about from a famous designer called Reiner Knizia. And so it's one of his games. And every once in a while, you get these tweets and whatever about sales that are going on. So there was one from Miniature Market, which is a big board game site. And actually, I had read a review or like a playthrough or whatever of Assassin Con, another game. And I was like, hey, that might be a cool group type game. And it sounded interesting. So I wondered if I could maybe adapt the rules to work in a bigger group setting. So I went looking for that one, and then found it at Miniature Market, and then also saw that they had this Lost Cities for sale. I was like, you know how those sales are. It's like, hey, I'll grab that while I'm buying, right?
Well, that is me on Steam. So
exactly.
Whenever the Steam sales come out, the holiday sale, and I forget what game it was. Oh, I think it was the original Tomb Raider. I got for $4.99. I was like, I'm going to play this game. I turned it on. I played it for 5 minutes, and then I went back to Star Wars. And I was like, okay. But there must be, I think the big game I bought this year was Titanfall 2. I was all excited to play it. It had, it sat in my inventory, and I never played it. Still to this day. I think I bought it at Christmas time for like $3.99. And
yep. I've got so many games that I haven't played yet on Steam. It's crazy.
Yeah, I tell everybody the day SOTOR isn't around anymore, that's when I'll play all those games.
Right.
But how do you find time to play video games and board games with 5 kids and a wife?
Well, that's one of the things. I mean, we may talk about this later, but one of the great things I love about board games is you can involve your family. So, I've taught my kids. I've been into board games about 6 years probably. So my kids have kind of grown up, more or less, learning how to play. And so, because they've had that background, then the box may say 12 and above or something like that, but my 8-year-old can still play it, and so anyway, it's kind of all at the same time. It's family time and board game time. So I don't play that many PC games anymore. Pretty much towards it, but every once in a while I've got some friends who are trying to get me into Starcraft because it's free and that kind of stuff. And I actually downloaded it and installed it, but I hadn't played it yet.
Yeah. Dun 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 dun.
Yeah. One of these days.
Well, you know what StarCraft to me is a typing video game. If you can type fast, you can play StarCraft.
Really, it's all like typing?
It's all like macro keys, and it's just basically they might as well just say AAA space BBB space TQCP. You know what I mean? Like, it's just a typing game, because it's so insanely fast. I tried to play it a couple times, and
you can't type for shit.
No,
you can hit like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like the number keys.
Well, that's because it's really the 3 keys, because I can hit 1, 2, 3, and 4 because my index finger will go over 1. Anything past that, whenever I play my bounty hunter, there's six keys. That's pretty much all you need, and it's a stretch for me. And like sometimes I find myself having to look down at the keyboard to hit them all in a row. It's terrible. I'm a terrible typer. But anyway, so I see in the show notes that you're going to say. It says you're going to be running another legendary Marvel tournament. Please tell me what that is.
So there's this game called Legendary Marvel, and it's what's called a deck building game. And
like Magic?
Kind of. It's a dynamic, what I call a dynamic deck building. Like Magic, you have a pre-built deck, right? You spend time before the game, and you put the cards that you want in there, and so you go into the game with this set deck, right? You shuffle that deck up, so you don't know exactly what cards are coming up, but you've built that deck. So this game, a dynamic, what I'm calling a dynamic deck builder, everybody starts with kind of this starting hand, which is some basic attack card, and then several money type cards. So you're spending these money cards, to buy other cards, and so you build your deck as the game goes. When you run out of your draw deck, you shuffle up everything from your discard, including the stuff that you've bought, and now you've got a new draw deck. So it includes your starting deck plus the cards that you bought.
Sure.
So that's kind of what that game is. And it's based in the Marvel universe. So, I mean, I think I've counted up. I've got like, correction. I didn't count up. I added up. I think I've got like 1,500 cards or something now, because I've got all the expansions and stuff that came with it.
Holy shit!
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy.
It's like, all kinds of characters from the Marvel universe. And they've got expansions set on like X-Men. There's an X-Men expansion, a Spider-Man expansion. Let's see.
I'd imagine there's like variations of characters, like Thanos without the Infinity Gauntlet, or Thanos with it, or something like that.
Yeah, I don't think Thanos would be like the bad guy, right? And so there is an expansion that's a Guardians of the Galaxy expansion. It's got him in there, and you can actually buy the Infinity Stones and use them as a power.
Oh, that's cool.
Stays out there.
That is sweet.
Yeah,
so, that sounds sweet.
Awesome.
It's a pretty great game. So going back to the tournament part, is I've got my friendly local game store. He and I were talking, and they've got a kit, like what's called an organized play kit. So he buys the kit, and then he's basically sponsoring the tournament. And so it's like a $5 entry fee. You come show up, and you're just having fun playing the game. And so I set up the tournament, and so everybody played 3 rounds, and I shuffled it around. So you're trying to play even type people, but you also played everybody that was in the tournament. And then and I kept score based on how many points that they earned. And then the top 4 played a semifinals round, and then the final 2 played a finals round. And so with this kit that the guy had bought, you've got like fancy cards, like foil cards. The big prizes was a what do you call it? Neoprene mat. That was this particular kit was around the Spider-Man expansion. So this neoprene mat's got a picture of Spidey and stuff and Mysterio. And
that's
pretty sweet, yeah.
That is
and
sweet.
Another one of the prizes was like a plexiglass card that was pretty sweet looking too.
So for anybody that lives out near you, what's the name of the store?
It's called Big Kids at Play.
Oh, that's an awesome name at a store.
Yeah, for a gaming store, especially.
Yep.
So it sounds to me like you're pretty busy playing board games.
Yeah, sometimes. I haven't been so much the past month, but you follow my Twitter feed, and I tend to log all my plays, and when I do that, it automatically like sends a tweet out that Albus has played.
Yes,
Marvel Legendary, right? So you can see exactly how much I play, pretty much.
You play a lot.
Yeah.
Awesome. Cool, man.
So, like I said, I haven't played so much this month because I've got baseball games and stuff. Plus, the NBA playoffs have been going on, and I like watching the NBA. So,
please don't tell me you're a LeBron James fan.
Not so much, but I like him all right.
All right.
I like Kevin Durant pretty good.
Yeah, sure. Kevin Durant's all right. I'm not a LeBron fan.
Yeah, me either. Obviously, I'm not a big basketball guy in general, but
yeah.
I thought the Celtics were going to knock him off, but he pulled it out.
Yeah, we thought so too.
Yeah.
Well, you know how that goes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, you guys, the Celtics, they're coming around, man. If they had Kyrie, oh yeah, they're coming around.
I think so too.
You guys have a good future.
We're hopeful. That's for sure.
That's it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Sweet, man. All right.
Not gaming related, but I did watch Solo Sunday night.
No spoilers, please. I know Marcus saw it, but I did not.
Oh, you haven't seen it yet?
No, I had to. Yeah, I had a wake to go to when I was going to go see it on the premiere night with Marcus. But
well, everybody dies at the end. So other than that.
Everybody's dead. Awesome. So, Nick, you better be telling me I don't care about anything else except one thing. What have you been doing this week? And if it's not the right thing, I'm going to punch you.
And he definitely can. He's sitting right across the table from me. You can see in the show notes what I'm about to say.
Well, I didn't read the show notes.
Well, anyway, so the big news is, can I get a drum roll, please? Thank you. I started playing SOTOR.
Yay!
Woo! And I ended up going with the Sith Juggernaut class, or Sith Warrior, which is then a Juggernaut class. Because I want to use a lightsaber of some kind. Because who doesn't want to use a lightsaber? You shoot in lots of other video games, but a lightsaber is pretty unique. And I picked the Imperial side mostly because that's where Marcus is usually playing, and I wanted to eventually be able to play, do ops and stuff like that, or just play in game with Marcus and friends in the AIE guild, including Albus eventually, I'm sure.
Great.
And I went with the Juggernaut sort of over to the Marauder, just because I kind of got a bad feeling about the Marauder. I can't really put my finger on it, but it feels like the Marauder feels like a class that would die a lot. And I'm not sure why.
I hate you. I hate you. What the fuck? Albus, tell him that I don't die a lot.
He dies all the time.
Yo, this is bullshit. I'm calling Mulligan.
Oh my god.
So the only time you don't
wait.
die is when I'm healing you.
All right. So what did you pick for a toon name?
It's just Nick Vern, same as my Twitter handle.
All right, that's perfect.
I didn't want to do anything too crazy.
No, it's your first toon. So did you pick your advanced class yet or not yet?
No, that's like your subclass. So it'd be like Juggernaut, Rage, or Vengeance, or something else I forgot that's like the tank version of it or something like that.
Yeah,
Right.
The only person I know that plays a Juggernaut is Dent. You should talk to him about that.
I absolutely will. I'll hit him up on either Twitter or on...
I don't think he's on Twitter. You're going to have to find him in game or on Discord.
Discord, that's what I was trying to find.
But he'll listen to this. Dent,
Dent.
get a hold of Nick. ASAP.
Dent is the only person I've known that's played Juggernaut as DPS. Everybody else has always played tank.
Huh.
But he rocks it as DPS, so
He puts a challenge to me when we're on opposite sides of the raid frame and we're doing like a 2-person boss.
Mhm.
He puts up some great numbers. I think right now the Juggernaut DPS is the highest DPS in the game. But
is it really?
Yeah. So
anyways, help me, Dent Kenobi. You're my only hope.
So all right, so you're playing the Sith Juggernaut, you're playing the warrior class.
Yeah, it's fucking awesome.
All
so
right.
I was like the first, 20, 30 minutes, you pick your character. It's like, okay, you're on the planet, whatever. But, it goes a little slowly. But then things start to pick up. And I don't know how I forgot this, but I kind of forgot that it's a BioWare game. So it's like all your dialogue decisions matter and stuff. But so you can't, like, if you're an asshole, like, you're an asshole. If you're nice, whatever. So, like, one of the first things you see, the first person you see is this Overseer Tremel. And he's like, hey, there's some shit happening, and you're fucking badass. I need your help, blah, blah, blah. And then you have some, like, morality stuff where you have these 3 prisoners. If anyone hasn't played the Sith Juggernaut story, I'm sure everyone who's listening has, but I don't know, spoilers, I guess. You have to decide what to do with them. So I thought, okay, I'm going to be a Sith badass. I'm just going to kill all of them. And I did. So I just murdered all of them. And the guy's like, dude, this guy could have been, like, this guy was probably innocent. This guy was, like, we could have flipped onto our side. Like, what are you doing? Like, you don't have to kill people 24/7. So I was like, oh, all right, there's a little more nuanced here than I was anticipating, which was cool.
So you're definitely going dark side.
Yeah, I was
hear that, Bishop?
Dark side options.
Yeah, Bishop is definitely excited to hear that.
Yeah.
So I mostly go light side, and there's a setting you can turn off because if you scroll over them, you can see light side or dark side choices.
Yeah.
But you can shut that off, so where you just pick whatever you want and you end where you end. I like to see the choices.
Yeah, I did too.
But I don't scroll on them until I pick what I want to pick, and then it's always light side because light side is the right side, Bishop.
How can you be a light-sided Sith guy? That's
because it's who I can't just fucking kill somebody.
Yeah, but you got to derive your rage and power from somewhere. Maybe
the
this
light
is why
side.
you die a lot, Marcus.
No, it's not why.
No, I'm just kidding. So,
have you met Darth Barrish yet?
Yes, I did. I met Darth Barrish. He had sent some bitch ass to kill me a couple times. Or no, he didn't send him, but his would-be apprentice, whose name I forgot. I tried to look it up before, but I couldn't find it. He tried to kill me, and like his buddy, the apprentice sent his buddy to kill me. I killed him. That was easy. It's just like a little combat. And then there's a little cutscene afterwards where the guy's like begging for his life, and I, did the Sith thing again, just killed him. Because don't cross my path, bitch.
Yes.
Got some extra dark side points for that. And now I talked to Darth Barriss because he's like, hey, this recruit's progressing like way too quickly. What's the deal with this guy? And he's like, okay, Overseer Tremel, the guy who was, shuttling me along through all the trials too quickly in Darth Barriss's eyes. It's like, okay, go kill him. Your old teacher. And then if you do that, then maybe you'll be in, on good terms with me. So, and that's kind of where I ended after that conversation before I came over here to start the podcast. So I'm interested to see what the dialogue with Overseer Tremel is when I go to confront him. Because,
So, are you still on Korriban?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm still on Korriban.
So, when you went into the tunnels for the first time, you killed those little slugs?
Yeah, the slugs. And then there were like these, I don't know, people raiding the tomb or whatever.
You make me want to do it again, and I have 5 Marauders, and now I want to do it again.
Dude, you should be a Juggernaut.
No.
Why?
No.
Wait a minute. You have 5 Marauders?
Yeah.
Why 5? Don't you have one that's like, if it's level 70 or whatever?
Well, it's because I like it.
Pick a different class. But yeah, you kill the slugs. You kill, I don't know, there's like looters, and then later you kill like these, I don't know, more mammalian-looking like wolf things, and then some crazed troopers or something like that. I forget what it was called, but they all died to my saber.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
All right, so
Marcus.
Wait.
What?
Are you going to play it tonight?
Yeah. Well, I mean, if we end, but after editing and stuff, if it's like midnight, I probably won't. But if it's any kind of reasonable time, I'll definitely play it tonight.
Because I'll come find you on Korriban and just follow you around.
Sure. Help me kill stuff.
Yeah. All right.
Router number 6.
No. I'll just bring one of them with me.
So, Marcus, well, see, in the show notes I had written, what boring SWTOR news do you have to put me to sleep with today? But
now you're fucking intrigued by it.
Yeah, now I'm intrigued. So I can't. I'm eating some
You gotta change that.
Yeah. Well, no, it's too late now. He's already past it. So I saw Solo on Thursday night. I'm not going to talk about the movie. I liked it. That's where we're going to leave it. Next episode, Dent's coming back. He's going to be the official Working Class Nerds Star Wars movie reviewer.
Wow.
That was a mouthful.
I thought, we got to come up with a little catch. That's not exactly
podcast ready.
Yeah, we got to workshop that a little bit.
All right, so I was in turmoil because I always go to the movies with Nick.
Yeah,
and he was going away, so he couldn't come with me on Thursday night. So I went with my wife, which was awesome, and because my wife and I don't get to do anything together ever.
Yeah,
and we had a babysitter for the first time, which is Ariel. She was our guest last week. And
AKA my sister.
Well, yeah.
AKA my podcast extraordinaire.
Yeah, pretty much my sister too.
Yeah,
but
tomato.
Yeah, tomato. But anyway, so she watched our daughter, which was awesome. But I'm going to tell you right now, Albus, do you go to the movies a lot?
Not a ton, but whenever it's something I really want to see, like Marvel movies and, of course, Star Wars.
Yeah. All right, so I don't know about your movie theater. I don't get to sit down and relax a lot. Pretty much it's when I go to bed. It's when I get to sit down and relax. When my butt hits those chairs.
Oh, my God. Yeah, the theater got new chairs, and they're, like, epic.
Yeah.
They're, like, the nicest, like, lazy boy, whatever, insert couch name here, chairs ever.
Ever. So I sit down on them, and my muscles go,
yeah, they are wicked.
And how many things can you do in 2018 that you don't do anything for 2 hours? You just sit in one place. You're not getting up to use the bathroom. You're not hitting pause on the TV. The dog doesn't have to go pee. Nothing for 2.5 hours. Like, it's the most relaxing thing ever. They have this movie club where you go to the movies once a month and it's like $8 for a ticket. I'm going to sign up for it and go see the crappiest movies in the world just to sit in that chair for 2 hours once a month.
Yeah.
Because that's how great it was. So anyway, we'll talk about that later. I enjoyed the movie. So this week, it feels like all I've done is work. I had a customer ask me to frame their basement because they want to have an electrician come in and wire it. And I'm way too busy for it. And instead of saying, no, I can't do that, I'm too busy right now. Can you wait a few weeks? I was like, sure. I'll just come next Tuesday. So I'll see you next Tuesday.
Yeah.
Night. So I dragged Nick with me to frame this basement on Tuesday night. We worked,
4 to 8-ish or something.
8:30 or so.
Yeah.
And then I worked all the next day. Mind you, I worked all day that Tuesday. And then Wednesday I worked and then went there, and I didn't get home until late. And that's why I didn't run with the Wednesday night team, because I was just exhausted.
Yeah. Working like 13 or whatever hours, 2 days in a row sucks.
Oh, it's terrible.
Yeah.
It's terrible. And, I lost one of my employees a few weeks ago, so I'm really picking up the slack.
Right.
But at least Sunday night, with the holiday week, I asked everybody who would be around on our Death Star Troopers team, and there's a few people that said, well, I might be around. one guy said he was definitely around, and a few people were just out because it's a holiday weekend.
Yeah, sure.
And it's pretty much the first holiday weekend that I kind of came around. And I said, oh, maybe some people are around. Well, there was only 2 of us around on Sunday, Albus. And while you were hanging out at a barbecue, I was, trying to put a group together. But we ended up putting one together. I didn't even remember it. I had to go back in the Discord notes. And we went to Dread Fortress, and we got to kill Brontes. I'm absolutely in love with her.
Brontes?
She's a Dread Master. And I don't know, it's her voice or something.
Just hits all.
It's all the triggers.
Spot.
Yeah. She's awesome. So,
Man.
yeah.
Kinda
So,
scary.
It's kind of scary.
So,
Yeah, that's scary.
And then when we were in there, I was like, oh, I want to do hard mode Dread Fortress. And everybody was like, no, you don't. It's like the most ridiculous thing and unforgiving thing ever. And I'm like, yeah, I'd like to try it. And they just laughed at me. Like, stupid marauder.
Yeah, I mean? Like, you're just going to be standing there and we have to heal your ass constantly.
Oh, you're just dead. So, something else that happened that doesn't really happen. I ended up sitting down and watching a movie with my wife at home. And I don't know what we were supposed to be doing, but we did it. And I absolutely loved it. She was snoring on the couch, but I enjoyed every minute of it. We watched Guardians of the Galaxy 2. And
Hey, we just watched that.
Huh?
We just watched that not too long ago.
Did you like it?
Yeah.
See, I like the Guardians movies. They're lighthearted.
I do too.
They're serious, but like they're fun. I haven't seen the Doctor Strange movie. It just,
Oh, that was good. That was one of my favorites.
It was good.
Visually, it's good, but like I heard the story elements are light, and it just looks really pretty.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like I don't know. In terms of Marvel movies, I think I don't know what the best story would be. Civil War was really good. Winter Soldier was really good. Story elements was Infinity War was really good. Obviously,
Infinity War was my favorite.
Infinity War was probably one of my favorites too. That was ridiculously good.
See, Spider-Man: Homecoming.
That was a good one too, man.
Of the lately, but the best of all time, honestly, is Iron Man 2.
Iron Man 2 is really good too.
I really like Iron Man.
See,
I was disappointed. Spider-Man is like one of my favorites. It's between him and Captain America, even before the movie started coming. I think Tom Holland's my favorite Spider-Man guy, but Homecoming was my least favorite of the Spider-Man movies. I was really disappointed. Yeah.
What did you like? Did you not like how?
Well, there was a lot.
Yeah.
There were several things I didn't like on it, but Vulture was kind of a big deal to me. So.
Yeah. I was going to say, I think the biggest thing for me in Homecoming that I didn't really like too much was how Iron Man gave him his suit. You know what I mean? I thought it would be a little cooler if his abilities came more organically, like the shooting the webs and stuff like that.
Right.
Which I know is something in some comic books he has naturally, like the first set of Fox Spider-Man movies, he just has that power. But then sometimes in some of the comic books, I think it was the Amazing Spider-Man, not comic books, the animated show. That's what I watched when I was a kid. And he had, the capsules or whatever that he had to keep refilling. It was like a gadget that he had made. I thought that would be kind of cool. But hey, he's this tinkering high school kid. Maybe he's in a robotics club or something, and he made, that for himself. That would be cool. Rather than it's all Tony Stark just giving him these, the extra abilities. But it's sort of a nitpick thing, I guess. But anywho, back to SWTOR. Sorry.
What do you mean SWTOR? So anyway,
you're talking about.
Yeah.
We were talking about the Guardians movie.
Yeah, so he as you guys all hear, Nick wasn't listening to anything I said.
I went down a rabbit hole and I was trying to
Yeah, it happens. So I don't know, a lot of people don't know I'm completely addicted to Audible. So I listen to Star Wars The Old Republic podcasts, and I listen to Audible. I listen to a lot of books. I love to read, but I don't have any time. And whenever I have free time, I seem like I'm in front of my computer playing SWTOR. So, so I'm listening to Tarkin. It's really good.
Yeah.
At first, I started to listen to the Obi-Wan book, and I didn't think it was good at all. I couldn't get into it. It kind of jumped all over the place because it's about the story of him on Tatooine. after Initiate Oda 66.
Yeah.
It was after that. So I thought I would love it, and it just didn't, maybe it's the narrator, maybe it's just the way it was written. I just didn't get into it. So I gave Tarkin a try, and it's really good, man. And it's, for anybody who hasn't listened to it, it's basically the story of how Tarkin and Vader, their relationship is where it is when it gets to episode 4, A New Hope.
Right.
Yeah, it was sweet. I listened to it a few weeks ago. Have you listened to the Thrawn book?
Yes. Which
I
one?
thought that one.
The new one?
No, I think it was the first one.
The
I
old
don't think
ones?
I've listened. No. It's new. It's in the canon.
Oh yeah, so it's
not.
so it's the Timothy Zahn book.
Well, so Timothy Zahn wrote the
All of
originals
them.
also,
Yes.
like Heir to the Empire and those guys.
Yeah.
But those aren't canon anymore. This
Right.
is a new one that is in the canon. Have
Hi, Maggie.
you listened to that one?
Well, yeah. So I did, and the ending I didn't like, because I listened to the ending like 3 times, and I'm trying to decide if he's dead or is he alive. And I listened to it the ending 3 times, and I just didn't like how the book ended. I think the problem for me was Heir to the Empire is the best book I've ever read. Well, next to A Certain Point of View. But
I don't think I read that one.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So it's
Heir to the
basically,
Empire.
yeah. So if you listen to TinnyCast, Chill was listening to it, and I listened to it, I don't know, 4 months ago or something. So basically it's all of episode 4, New Hope, but it's through the point of view of the bartender in the cantina. It's through the stormtroopers when Obi-Wan is telling them, these aren't the droids you're looking for. Move along.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't know why I want to tell them that, these aren't the droids I'm looking for, but they're not the droids you're looking for. You know what I mean? He's like, talks to himself. It's hilarious. And that book was awesome. Just because, and I'll give a quick spoiler. The red droid that explodes when Luke and his uncle.
Oh yeah.
The droid did it on purpose.
Oh really?
Because R2 and him needed to be together. He was perfectly fine.
Oh.
He blew his own motivator. So,
Sweet.
but anyway, yeah. So that's a little spoiler, but that book is awesome. But anyway, Tarkin.
Yeah,
it's great. I think there's 15 minutes left to the book, so I'll probably forget in 2 weeks to talk about it again. But it's awesome, and I really enjoyed it.
I gotta get on the Audible train. That sounds great.
Yeah, and then Tuesday night. See, this is how crazy I am. Tuesday night, I worked 14 hours or whatever it was.
Yeah, till late 30.
I came home, took a shower. My wife hasn't been feeling good because she's 5 months pregnant or so, and Dr. Sotor messages me and says, "Hey, you want to run some Master Mode flashpoints?" I'm like, "Oh, sure." There's the carrot was dangled, So, so we Tuesday night, I went to bed at 11:30, 12 o'clock.
Yep.
After working all those hours, and I did another Master Mode flashpoint. We did Comparo, and man, the Master Modes are tough, but I did not die a lot. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay, it's not a lot.
All right, so then the only other thing I've been doing in SOTOR is I've been continuing my Bounty Hunter class story. Mm-hmm. Things are starting to heat up on Bel Savis. Whatever, it's fun. I think this class story is a little too easy. You don't die a lot, but you get to enjoy the story. So now to SOTOR news. Right now, there's double XP, CXP, XXP, every XP is possible.
LMNOP.
Yeah, LMNOP, whatever it is. Every possible XP is doubled right now. It was a day late to starting. People complained, which everybody always complains, but I don't really care. Mm-hmm. If there's any other news to talk about, whatever, I'm moving on. But I do need to use the bathroom, Nick.
All right, let's take a break, and we'll be right back.
All right.
And we're back. So today we're discussing board games and tabletop gaming, which is, as you heard from the first half, Albus's area of expertise.
So I'm more of a video game guy.
As am I.
Yeah, I find myself to be more drawn into the screen than board games, and I love board games. But Albus and Nick, and I don't care who goes first, what made you want to start playing board games?
Well, if I may, I think for me it was like a family thing. I remember just, I don't know, after dinner or something, sitting down and playing Life, or like with my cousins, or with my parents and sister. We're just playing board games as a thing to do, so we weren't just like driving each other crazy, Or like I remember when Graham would come over and babysit, we'd play War all the time, which would be pretty fun.
Yeah,
Somehow little like 7-year-old me would always win. I don't know how, but maybe Graham was letting me win. But it was like a family thing. It was like before the internet was super prevalent, and sort of before I was super into video games, board games were a little easier for my kid brain to comprehend, I guess.
No, sure. What about you, Albus? What made you start playing?
Well, I guess grew up playing some, just playing like the mass market games like Clue and Monopoly, that kind of thing. And then I was listening to a podcast and pretty much didn't do a whole lot with board games. I was like, kind of like you're talking, I was pretty much into video games, pretty heavy. And anyway, listening to a podcast, a guy was on as a guest speaker, and he had designed a board game. He was kind of talking about this board game he had designed and stuff. And
what was the name of it?
It was Nightfall, which is still one of my favorite games. So he was just talking about it, and I was like, maybe I'll check out board games a little bit. Sounds like it's a little more than what I was exposed to as a kid. So that was, I don't know, 6 years ago or so, and just kind of piqued my interest. And then I was out at Colorado visiting some family out there, and some cousins had a game called Settlers of Catan, and so they were like, "Hey, we've got this game. You want to play?" And I was like, and I had heard of it and hadn't played it yet, so it's like, yeah, let's play. So that kind of is what started it.
Awesome. So I guess my question is, how do you get people into it? So we tried to get a board game night together, and it's so hard to get 4 people together in one room at the same time.
Yeah.
The same week. You know what I mean? It seemed like, 1 week I would miss, the next week Nick would miss, the next week this other guy would miss, and you're constantly playing 3 people.
Right.
1 week, 2 people. You know what I mean? And I guess you do it because you love it, but it got to be so hard to just get everybody in one place at the same time.
Right. It was really tough scheduling. But
so most games you don't have it's not like a carrying forward a story or something like that. So you just can play. If you develop a collection, then it's like, hey, we've got 5 people here. Here, this one plays well with 5 people. Oh, we've only got 2 tonight. Well, here's a 2-player game that it's really good for 2 players.
But it's
so
so
you just pull
expensive.
out which game.
It's so expensive. I see some of these games; they're like $80.
Yeah, some of them, but not all of them. I mean, you can get good games for $20 too. So,
sure.
Yeah, I was gonna say what I didn't write it in the show notes, but I just remembered it as we were talking. Probably one of my favorite games too is called Coup, and it's technically like a card game, but it's like a board game too. It's like a lying based game. Have you ever heard of it or played it, Albus?
Yeah, I've played it.
Do you like it?
You're asking the board game master if he's played a game. I guarantee you, every game we talk about today, he's already played.
Yeah, I played.
No. You called me an expert where I was like, okay, we got to set some expectations here, guys.
Listen, when you play, you're playing like 6 games a week. You're an expert.
Yeah, that's 6 more games a week than Marcus and I are playing.
But yeah, Coup's a good one. It's a bluffing game, and so yeah, it's a really good game.
I think I bought my own deck for Coup, and also the expansion which I've never played the expansion.
Is that what you bought at PAX?
Yeah, at PAX.
All right.
Okay.
I accidentally bought the expansion, and I was like, "Oh, I'll take it. I'll take Coup." He's like, "Oh, this is the last one." I'm like, "Perfect." They rung me out for both the Coup and the expansion, and I was like, "Oh, what is this other box?" And they're like, "Oh, did you not want that?" I'm like, "I don't not want it. What is it?"
Yeah.
Like, it's the expansion lets you play up to 12 people instead of just capping it at 6. But I played a bunch of, half drunken games of Coup with my college friends. It's definitely awesome. I recommend it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love board games. I gotta play more of them. But it's definitely tough to find time sometimes, because video games you can hop in to, when you're by yourself. So I understand what you were saying, Marcus, earlier.
Yeah.
Getting people together to play can be tricky sometimes.
Yeah. You can get solo type games too, or they'll have a solo variant of the game. Like you can most true cooperative games you can do solo. So, instead of having a team of 4 of you or whatever, we already talked about Marvel Legendary or Legendary Marvel. It's a co-op game, so you can play that one solo if you want, instead of, because you're all fighting against the mastermind.
Right.
So
I guess it's hard for me to, I guess sitting down in front of a board game, I want to be with somebody else. I feel like that's a social thing.
Yeah.
I don't think I would enjoy playing a game solo and I'm like talking to myself, oh, Diggledorf, you're going over here or this or that. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I don't think I could do it.
I don't think so either.
And,
that's the name of one of your marauders, right? Diggledorf?
No.
That was his character in
Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. What did you name your character for Mice and Mystics?
No, it's Nez.
Oh yeah, we had all pre-made characters.
Oh, you're Nez? I was thinking you were Colin.
No, I'm not the leader.
That was
okay.
I'm the guy with the hammer.
Yeah,
I'm Nez too.
Yeah,
I was the healing mouse, whose name I forgot.
All right, okay. So we'll get into the games. So
Tilda.
The only other question I have before we dive into the games that we're playing is, Albus, have you ever played Dungeons and Dragons?
Yeah, a little bit. Honestly, I haven't played that very much, but just a little bit.
All right.
Marcus and I played, I don't know, maybe 3-hour sessions worth or something like that. And then again, just ran into like a big scheduling issue and couldn't really do it.
And that's a game that you have to have a 4-person party for.
Right.
Like, why didn't I play that when I was a kid?
I know.
I just read comic books and watched Star Wars movies on the VHS tapes.
Me too.
You know what I mean?
What else do you need, right?
Well, yeah. I was just trying to stay inside, But the thing for me about Dungeons and Dragons is it's awesome because it's immersive. It's almost like SOTOR.
Right.
You got to play it today for, 2 hours or whatever you played.
Yeah.
But you immersed yourself into it and now you want to play it.
Yeah, I put myself in that character. Same
Correct.
thing with that was happening for me with Mice and Mystics. It was like we were banding together in this world to fight against the evil rats and whatever else, and cockroaches and spiders and stuff.
Yeah.
I was like, I was the Nez, or sorry, you were Nez. I was Tilda. It was pretty cool. Like immerse I think the social aspect is like you immerse yourself with your friends.
Yes.
Into that board game world.
But like like Albus said, he's going to his church and he's getting 30 people to show up.
Yeah.
How awesome would that be if we could get 30 people over at my house in the basement?
Right.
On any given night to play board games.
That's
I would
awesome.
totally play board games.
I would play board games a lot more.
And I would go broke because I buy board games.
Yeah.
My wife, instead of buying a Titan video card, she'd be mad at me because I just bought 7 new board games.
Albus is like, you're preaching to the choir.
You ought to see the room I'm in right now.
I was going to say, when we were talking earlier and you had 1,500 Legendary Marvel cards, plus all these other board games. I'm like, where the hell are you storing all of this?
He must have a really big house.
Or at least a really big board game room.
Well,
I've got some shelves. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, about 5 shelves full of board games over here.
Wow.
And it's
vertical storage.
Big. Yeah.
But you guys don't have basements where you live, do you?
Well,
Arkansas?
Yeah.
You do?
I don't in my house, but yeah.
Oh, because I thought out, in Tornado Land, you guys don't have basements.
Really?
Nah.
I thought you would have
Best
extra
place to be
basements.
for a tornado.
I was going to say, I think you got it backwards. I think you
Hey.
need a basement. You should get
And
underground for
where
tornadoes.
do people not have? Oh, Florida. See?
Oh, for flooding.
Yeah,
High flooding areas, you might not want a basement because it'll just fill with water and stuff.
maybe.
I think that's probably what you're thinking of.
I'm an idiot.
That's all right.
All right.
You're our idiot, Marcus. We love you.
So, I want to talk about our favorite games. So, Nick, what's your favorite board game all time?
Well, number one, I mentioned coup before, but probably number one is chess. I love playing chess, and I played with my buddies, and a few of them were like really, really, really good, and I'm not really, really, really good. I know like 2 openings, a couple defenses, and then I just free ball after that. But it's really fun to like sit down and just like try to analyze the board and analyze your moves and try to predict where the other person is going to go and what they might do to counter what you're going to do and just stuff like that. I really like the mind games that happen with chess. I love chess. That's probably my number one favorite.
All right.
But notable mention would be coup and also Mice and Mystics that from, way back when.
Yeah.
Albus. How about you, Albus?
My favorite board games?
Yeah.
Your
favorite.
It's hard to pick, right? But I'm going to go with Dead of Winter is my favorite. You guys heard of that one?
No.
We have not. Can you give us a summary?
Imagine kind of like The Walking Dead, but it's the board game. So you've got each player is controlling a small group. So it's kind of like, it's you and 2 other people as part of your group. Mm-hmm. And but you're all living in a colony together, and you're fighting against. You're just having to survive, right? So you got to scrounge for food. You go to these other locations. You're looking for weapons, and then you have like small objectives where, by the end of this round, we've got to have, everybody's got to have some medicine, or food, or let's just say medicine, because you have to have food every time. Mm-hmm. And then, but overall, you're trying to accomplish this big objective over the whole game. But there's a little caveat, is one of you could be a traitor. So you have like a secret objective for each. There's like a group objective, right? And it's like, we've got to kill so many zombies or whatever. But my secret objective would be, well, by the time that we kill that many zombies, I have to have, 5 cans of gasoline or something like that in my hand, So I'm not necessarily, even though the group may need gas, I'm not going to contribute to the gas for the group because I need it for my own personal objective or I would lose.
Right.
So that's going on. And then there's also a traitor aspect where my objective may be that I want the whole group to lose. And so people, you're always trying to figure out, hey, is Marcus over there? Is he a traitor, or is he just holding on to that because he's got to do that for his objective or what? Right. So people are acting suspicious and all this, and it's fun.
That sounds fun. I like bluffing. Well, not exclusively bluffing games, but bluff games where sort of lying and secrecy like that are a big aspect. I think that would be really cool. And what's the name of that game again? Dead of Winter?
Dead of Winter, yeah.
Very cool.
So I'm looking at it. Actually, I Googled it while you were telling us about it. And see, this game I like because it says you can play 2 to 5 players. So like 2 people can enjoy this game.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure it's more fun with 5 people, but 2 people can play it, and that's nice. But see, here's the thing. These games say it's a 90-minute playing time. When we played Mice and Mystics, we played it for 2.5 hours, and we got through chapter 1.
Yeah. Right, that was a really long game. But that game's meant to be played for over, several sessions.
Yeah, but it says it's a 90-minute game, too.
Mice and Mystics does?
Yeah.
How the hell are you going to finish that game in 90 minutes?
I don't know.
We tend to go long too, but I'm usually playing with my kids, so trying to keep them directed. Kind of like Marcus, right? Trying to keep him focused on what you're doing. Kind of difficult. So.
Wait, are you guys saying that I get sidetracked easy?
Yes.
Nah. Would we say that?
Well, I don't know about easily, but
Squirrel.
Where? Oh, that's too funny. So, all right. After all this time, there's no game better than Battleship.
Battleship? 100% number one favorite.
Absolutely. So
I used to like it too.
If you play it right and you're not cheating.
Yeah, I would always cheat.
It's when you're like D4 and you're staring at him like, come on, motherfucker. Yeah. And he's like, hit. You're like, yeah. You're like, fuck yeah. And then when he says,
you and your ship.
Yeah, you sunk my battleship. It's such a gratifying thing. And I want to take that when you take off that piece. I want to take it and stomp it on the ground and jump up and down and be like, your battleship sucks, bro. I just took that shit down. So, and that's my mentality when I'm playing the game. And to be honest, I really loved Mice and Mystics.
Me too.
But it's so in depth. And what was the game we saw at PAX this year?
The Star Wars one?
It was the most amazing goddamn game we've ever seen.
Yeah,
they had that battle mat, and there was trees and everything. I'm not talking about the Imperial Assault game.
Oh,
this
Legion.
Game, Legion. That is it. It looked like the sweetest game. We walked right in the beginning when they started to play it, and Albus, they had, there were stormtroopers, there was the rebels, there was an AT-AT.
It looked like Endor-ish.
Yeah, it was definitely Endor.
But Luke and Vader were both.
Luke and Vader were there, and the guys who drew or rolled first, they rolled Luke and Vader right away. So Luke and Vader were fighting in the beginning of the game.
It was pretty bad.
And I was just like, wow, this is the greatest game ever. And I never actually pursued buying it because
you don't have that much time and other people to play with, so it'd be tough.
Yeah. That's kind of a lifestyle game almost, it seems like to me.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What do you mean by a lifestyle game?
Like, you got to get into it. And, every time there's expansion, you're going to be buying the new releases and that kind of stuff.
Right. You're committed to that type of game.
Right. There's my local comic shop where I get my comic books around here. They have 70 folding tables, and I thought all they do was Magic, but I wonder if they do board games too. But again, it's so hard because Sunday,
raid night,
Monday,
mandatory fun night or something, isn't it? Or is that
no,
Tuesday?
Fun feeling
That's
Mondays.
Tuesday.
Fun feeling Mondays.
Yeah.
Tuesday is mandatory fun night, but I don't usually run with them because I like to let the new people go because I do it so much. I feel like there's so many other new people that don't get to do it all the time, so I'm just like, I'll let them have fun.
Yeah.
And then I usually do something with Dr. Sotor if they need the help, or I'll play my class story. Then Wednesday I do ops, and then by Thursday I'm doing something in Sotor, and then Friday and Saturday I don't play, or I do, but I don't.
Wait, so I have a question.
Yeah.
So you just said you play your class story. Are you level 70 and you haven't finished your class story yet?
Yeah, so there's the Master's Compendium. It's a new level buff that you can buy off the cartel market. So makes you instant level 70. Okay. You get all of the abilities. So basically, if you paid for this, I think it's $20 or $15.
Okay.
You'd be an instant level 70. They give you 230 gear, which is like the base tier of end game gear.
Yeah, it's like up to 250 something now, right?
No, 248. So what I'm trying to say is, but it doesn't erase any of your class story. So I made, I think I was like a level 2 when I did the level 70 boost. So I'm going through my class story, and I want to see, I'm not using any CXP boosts or anything like that. I want to see what command rank I am. Remember the command rank we were talking about with Brian? I want to see what command rank I am at the end of whole 3-chapter story.
Okay. Yeah.
The whole class story. I want to see what command rank I'm at to say, okay, if you pay for this, when you finish the class story, you are a command rank level this. I don't do ops with them, but I could.
Right.
Because I think a bounty hunter isn't great in ops anyway. Because you're only hitting 6 keys and it's kind of boring.
Right. That's an interesting thing for me. I might do that with my tune.
Well, it would be good because then we could take you. If we needed a fill-in, we could take you with us. And
I mean, I would suck to the max, but
well, we would teach you. We would take you. You know, when I first started doing ops, Albus, how many times did we go to EV when I first started? Every week for what? 3 weeks?
Yeah, I'd say at least.
Yeah. No, you could just have to learn. That's where you go
to get gear, you know.
Yeah, but I like when new people come because, you know, you show them and now you get hooked on it.
Right.
Now when Albus is out because he's doing his Marvel tournament,
right,
and he's skipping out on ops because that's his tournament day, now you can fill in, and I know that you can do it.
Right.
So what do they say? Making the next generation?
Yeah, sure.
You know, making the next group of people.
Sure.
So anyway, so back to my board gaming. This Star Wars Legion game looks amazing.
Yeah.
But I don't have the time.
Right.
But if I could get into that, that'd be unbelievable.
Yeah, that looked
like I would
awesome.
Totally build
a table.
You know, Yavin.
Terrain and all that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I would build Yavin. Or I would make
or whatever. Maybe not.
So have you played Imperial Assault?
Once. I played it once and it was awesome, but it is so in depth. Like somebody else was explaining it. I just kind of followed whatever he was saying. There's so much involved in that. Like Mice and Mystics, I thought there was a lot. Imperial Assault is insane.
Yeah.
How much is to that?
Yeah.
But like you said, I think it's a lifestyle to be able to do it. Maybe when my kids are older, I'll be able to play more board games.
I mean, that's true because then you have guaranteed people to play with. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you just drag Carrie in, and even if she doesn't know what she's doing, it's family time. You have to be present.
Well, I think
rope her right in.
Well, no, I think she'll have no choice.
Right.
If my daughter, which is 2 now, and then the would-be kid that's coming, they're like, "Mom, you're playing Star Wars with us."
Yeah.
She's not gonna say no. I want to go on Facebook. She's gonna be like, "All right, let's rock and roll."
Yeah, it looks like I'm gonna mess some people up with lightsabers.
Yeah. So I'm almost gonna force everybody into it.
Right.
Huh.
My wife likes the games. I mean, I'm kind of lucky in that regard because I know a lot of friends don't, their wives aren't into it. And so, I go over to their house. Either they don't play or they're kind of like, okay, yeah, I'll play. But my wife, sometimes she'll be like, hey, you want to play a game? I'm like, yeah.
So will you guys just play you and her?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow.
That's pretty sweet.
Well, that's almost like, in a way, that's almost like date night for you guys because you have 5 kids and I'm sure you never get a break.
Well, after we send the kids to bed and it's like, hey, let's pull out Ticket to Ride or whatever.
Yeah.
Wait, what's Ticket to Ride?
Ticket to Ride is
sounds erotic.
It's a great game, man. You got to play that one. It's a train game. You're I don't know if you want me to describe it or whatever, but you're trying to build these routes across the U.S. or Europe or wherever the map is. And, say I need to get a train put together all the way from L.A. to New York. Well, that one would be worth, 22 points or something.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can do smaller routes that be worth fewer points, but you may be able to get more of them put together. So, anyway, yeah. At the end of the game, you count up all the points, and just whoever's got the most points wins. It's fun.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. As soon as you said the name, I Googled it.
Oh, man. You got to play that one. It's a good one.
Well, so do I give up a SOTOR night to be able to play, or maybe make my wife say, I guess I just need to find a game. Is there a board game, Albus, that involves shopping?
Shopping, huh?
Yeah, that's your new mission. You need to find a board game that the purpose of the game is to shop. Because my wife loves shopping. So if I come up with like this board game that's like, honey, you just need to buy 100 purses and you win the game, she'll be in. She'll say, okay, I'm in this game.
So I'm going to be the best.
Yeah, she'll win the game.
Olympic gold medal in shopping board games.
Yes.
I wouldn't be surprised, to be honest. Nothing's coming to mind or off the top of my head, but I have a theory that there's a board game for everybody, And so I think it's just a matter of, you talk to somebody and it's like, I don't really like board games. I think it's just they haven't found the right one, because there's so many games out there and so many different themes and, ways to play and that kind of thing that I think there's going to be something that matches what you like. It's just finding that game,
Oh, I think you hit the nail on the coffin. I think that's a perfect way to say it.
Like, for example, another one I've got on my list here in the notes is a game called Spectre Ops. That's a great one to show to video gamers because that one. Have you guys played Splinter Cell?
Yes.
Man, it's almost like you're playing that game because you've got one guy who's this spy that's sneaking into the facility, and he's got to hit. There's like 4 objectives he could hit, and he's got to grab 3 of them, and you don't know the other players. So there's like 3 or 4 other people all hunting him down, and so, excuse me, it'd be two or 3 other people hunting him down. But it's a hidden movement, so you can't. He's keeping track of where he's moving on like a chart, like a little mini map.
Okay, like
and everybody else. Go ahead.
Like a separate piece of paper, kind of.
Yes, exactly. And then everybody else is moving on the board, and so they're trying to hunt him down. And if they see him, they've got special powers. So one guy can sniff him or whatever. One guy can do what's called post-cognition. It's like you have to tell him where you were 2 turns ago and that kind of thing. So you're trying to find him and shoot him. He's got X number of health, real low health. So if you find him, you can, kill him. But finding him is tough. But he's got all these gadgets and stuff like smoke grenades and flashbangs and hollow decoys and stuff that he can use to throw him off the scent and stuff too. It's a great game, but it's like you're playing Splinter Cell. To me, anyway.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. I would love to play that.
Yeah. Come over. Let's play.
Sure.
Go get on an airplane. Well, awesome. Well, so everybody, if this all sounds fun and you want to chat with Albus about this, you should join the AIE Guild. You can go to aie-guild.org, or you can, in SOTOR, you can do a /C join AIE LFO. That's a looking for officer channel, and one of the officers can get you in game and get you an invite into the guild, which officers, we got to get Nick in the guild. And on Monday nights, you need to come have fun with me with Fun Feeling Mondays. Woo! Mondays suck, but not Monday nights from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. I help Brian with the Bad Feeling podcast, his guild. We do a fun night where, we just try to get a bunch of people together and do some fun stuff. So last week we actually got a full 16 guys and we did a 16-man op. 16 people is a lot of people to, navigate through and keep alive through an op. So it's fun. And I didn't mention all that in my segment, but, there was a lot of other stuff going on. And Albus, what was that shop you go to again to get your board games?
Oh, my local store.
Yeah.
It's Big Kids at Play.
Yeah. Well, if you're in the Albus area, go to that store, support him because he sure loves Albus. And,
Absolutely.
Albus, thanks for coming on.
Albus, it was awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Appreciate it.
What are you guys talking about in here?
Find out next episode of
Working Class Nerds.